Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. The day after Juventus 0, Roma 0. Prepare yourselves because these videos are usually longer. We report the big titles, about the big papers, what they were thinking about the game of yesterday. I go with my own opinion about the game and then we enter the tactical part, where Juventus did well and how we didn't score yesterday, why we didn't score yesterday, what we need to improve after that international break. So take a seat wherever you are at work, if you are listening to Beppe as a podcast, or if you're at home in home working, or you are about to go to school, whatever. Prepare yourself and put a maximum of like on these videos, because it's easy to put a maximum of like when we announce Koopmeiners, Consensao, or after a win against Como or Verona, after a draw, 0-0 against Roma. After the Mercato, that was crazy, but it's not crazy anymore because it's closed. Let's see how many likes we can reach in today's video. So I tell you immediately, of course, I am sad. Of course, I am bitter. Of course, I would have loved to wake up this morning with a big smile, continuing to surf on that wave of enthusiasm. Mercato, winnings, there, 6-on-6 in Serie A, 6 goals scored, 0 conceded. It's not the case because yesterday 0-0, we are not alone anymore on top of Serie A. Because we know it, the ranking is saying Inter 7, Juve 7, Torino 7, Udinese 7. So we are not first anymore alone. It's a pity, The Thiago Motta Juventus is not able to keep that run alone, 9-on-9. And that's a pity because yesterday we stopped. We did that break 0-0 against Roma yesterday. So, of course, the big papers in Italy, they are reporting more or less the same. Well, in a different shape, because you see that Corriere dello Sport is writing, "Stop Motta." Motta stopped. Juventus doesn't go through. Roma, the beauty is Manu Kone, that I already anticipated, that I knew was really strong, and he will do well in the future of Thiago Motta. No, about Daniele De Rossi, because unfortunately, it's not a player of Juve, but guys, when I'm saying unfortunately, we did what we had to do in that midfield. Hopefully, we can have all of them at disposal after international break. Gazzetta dello Sport is going with Signora Frenata, the old lady breaks, because yesterday it was a 0-0. As usual, I agree more, and tell me which one you prefer. Corriere with "Stop Motta", La Signora Frenata, so the breaks of the Signora, the old lady, on Gazzetta dello Sport, or the one of Tuttosport. I agree more with the title of Tuttosport that is saying Juve breaks but doesn't stop. Or don't stop. I more agree with that because anyway, yesterday we didn't concede anymore. We have 1 point more. We continue to accumulate points even if it's not the one that we wanted, because we wanted the 3. So let me know if you agree more with Gazzetta, with Corriere, or with Tuttosport. Now, Thiago yesterday said, and he's totally right when he's saying that in post-game, dobbiamo crescere. We must grow. But I'm not worried, and I love the words of Thiago Motta. Look, yesterday I was a bit sad. I would have loved to do a bit better yesterday. But again, watching the game yesterday in the middle of the night, and waking up this morning, analyzing the game, I can tell you that I am absolutely not worried. This is totally normal. Don't forget that we have a total entire new team in terms of players, in terms of Thiago Motta and technical staff, in terms of management. It's a new Juve. These kind of things will happen, and they will happen even more during the season. Then it's what we learn from it and how we can grow and build on these moments. So I totally agree with Thiago Motta. That also says we have a strong Juventus, we have strong players, and we will grow. So I totally trust the words of Thiago Motta yesterday. So what are my thoughts personally? Well, the first one is that, unfortunately, and we go first with the negatives and then we finish with the positives, yesterday we lost 2 points. If you're a Juventino, good, no good, excuses, explanation, blah, 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 great, but you lost 2 points. That's the reality. Then we are not leaders alone anymore. We are still leaders, but not alone anymore in the ranking of Serie A. Yesterday we didn't score. Yesterday we had only 1 shot on target. Not enough. And you know what? We never had that feeling that Juventus could score. Yesterday when I was doing that watch along, never I was there accelerating my tone of voice, raising my tone of voice, putting pace, putting energy, because I didn't believe myself that something could happen. It could, of course, happen on a set piece, on a corner, on a strange penalty, whatever, but I never felt that Juve could break through, and that's a pity. Yesterday we were, especially in that first half, slow. We were especially predictable, and a tactical masterclass in the first half of Daniele De Rossi. Credits to him, we need to say it. And also, I didn't like, and that starts to be, according to me, a problem, that Gatti and Bremer, they can't build from the back if there are no solutions. And you know what's the problem there? There are opponent, they know it. I will explain you the movements of Dovbyk later in that tactical pad, but that's a real problem. The positive things are that we are still first, don't forget about that. We didn't concede and we never risked against Roma, also them one shot on target, that was it. Gatti and Bremer, that I told you can't build from the back, and it's the problem because people know, well, on the other side there are walls. There are walls. It's not a coincidence that yesterday Gatti has been awarded as MVP of the game. I think it's totally deserved. Beautiful performance of Federico. But there are walls. If they go in anticipation, they go in man marking, they know how to defend. And that's something that we can continue to trust on. The Mr. Thiago Motta, when I told you that I praised the tactical masterclass of Daniele De Rossi in the first half, I loved his reaction between the first and the second half. Why? Because what we were analyzing with all our stats in the halftime of yesterday, he was really able to understand the same things, to spot the same things, and not only to understand them, but also be reactive to them. He was able to change them. And we saw a better Juve in second half. You know what I loved also? The fact that there was an intention to play with the ball. There was also the intention to win, especially between the 60th and 85th minute, that block of 25 minutes in second half. You saw that Juventus was trying, were pushing, were dominating, were higher on the field. I saw a few comments that were saying, but we went back to Allegri ball, it was parking the bus. Yesterday we didn't park the bus. Of course, in a game of football, there are moments where you need to defend. Otherwise, it finished like in Premier League, where Manchester United is conceding 3 goals because they don't know how to defend. Where yesterday, Bournemouth, they come back after 2-0 in the last minute on a 3-2 that are absolutely unacceptable. But yesterday, you need to defend as well. But yesterday, we didn't park the bus. And then, the last positive note is the fact that the new players that we saw yesterday that are not ready, probably, well, they will elevate the quality of the team. So I have beautiful promises. I have beautiful expectations for the future. I see a bright future for this Juventus. Entering the second part of this Juventus, the more tactical part, to start explaining what we saw yesterday. Well, yesterday, Thiago Motta, he continued to give trust to the people that did really well against Verona, with one difference. There were 150 million more or less on the bench yesterday ready to enter, which we didn't have against Verona. So the same exact starting lineup. Was it correct or not? I was expecting at least one change from Thiago. He didn't do it. I think that his intention was to reward the players and continue to trust the players that were there since the beginning with him, that understood and were also showing on the field that they understood what he was asking for them. So is it really a bad choice what he did yesterday? No. Also because he corrected them quite fast between the first and the second half. But that resulted also in Daniele De Rossi perfectly knowing how to cancel Juventus in the first half. He was totally prepared. So yesterday that 4-2-3-1 saw that actually Bremer and Gatti were on the ball too much. And if our fullbacks are key in the game of Thiago Motta, of that first part of Juventus that we saw in this season, they were totally blocked. With a Soulé extremely high blocking Cabal, he couldn't move where he wanted to go. With a Salamakers blocking Savona that couldn't go with these long runs, giving actually the ball to Bremer and Gatti. And you know what was even more difficult for Juve? That our midfield was invisible yesterday. They were always behind the midfield of Roma. They were never offering any solution. They were static, because I told you yesterday we were slow. And you see Bremer, Gatti, when they recuperate the ball, and they are really great in doing it, when they have the ball, they don't know. They look to each other. We see a lot of horizontal passes again. Bremer, Gatti, Gatti, Bremer, Bremer, Gatti, Bremer, Savona when he's free. Or sometimes when Locatelli or Fagioli were unmarked, they received the ball. Otherwise, it was really a real difficulty with, by consequence, also Vlahovic, by consequence also Yildiz, always hidden behind the players. Yesterday, fantastic performance, by the way, of Ndika on Dusan Vlahovic, and it's not the first time. We'll speak about Vlahovic later in this video when we will take care about the individual performances. So Juventus totally blocked, slow, static, predictable, because yesterday, if you see the heat maps, but also if you see what we did yesterday in terms of attacking phase, when we were at the 32nd minute, only 13% of our attacks were on the left side of the field. We never attacked on the left side of the field. It was always on the right side with 55% of our attacks. So we start not only to be slow, but as I told you, also really predictable. And that's why I will not blame Bangula in this video, because Bangula, a lot of time, he was totally alone, isolated, ready to receive that ball, asking for the ball. He was totally ignored. Also because he was playing also lower because of that big pressure of Sule and Selic, which is a pity, because I'm sure that if we would have involved him a bit more on that left side, Juventus would have been a bit less predictable. Yesterday we saw in general that our pass accuracy is much better than last year, 91.4 in the first half, where you're saying, okay, great, beautiful, but actually it's a fake beautiful pass accuracy, because if we are at 91.4 at half time, it starts to drop in opposition half with 83%, where Roma were at 89%, but especially, and that's the big gap, the big difference of that first half, 62% only in final third, where Roma was at 89%. 62% in final third, which means when we had the ball playing horizontal and when we found the possibility to go up with the ball, we were absolutely not accurate, which was a total disaster. Thiago Motta comes in, probably also analyzing the stats, speaking with Hugo in the locker room and saying, okay, this is what we need to change. And there is where he's changing. Entering for the first minutes Koopmeiners, and also entering Conceição yesterday, that I'm sure that surprised a lot of you. What a player. What a player. I told you that a lot of people were actually not speaking enough about Conceição. If you go on YouTube and you watch, the day one videos, you will see Koopmeiners with incredible numbers. You will see Nico Gonzalez with beautiful numbers. And actually the one that had the least numbers is Francisco Conceição, because he came on that Koopmeiners day. The interest was not on him. For the people that never met him or never watched him, ragazzi, this guy is a joy to watch. And I'm happy to see also the reactions of Juventini in the chat that are saying he needs to be a starter. Beautiful performance from Francisco Conceição. But you know what was the masterclass, I think, of Thiago Motta yesterday? That he understood that all the problems we had in the first half, he needed to solve them. And what did he do? He actually brought back Cambiaso as a left back, taking out Cabal, taking out Bangula to actually put on the left side Yildiz. But look at the difference of the heat maps of Cabal, first half, where we see that he's in his box, or really on the wing there, giving no alternatives, no solutions in that midfield with hidden midfielders a la Locatelli and Fagioli. He never gave any solution, while in the second half, when Cambiaso is taking that position, look how much more present he is offensively, but also a bit more centrally, always trying to give superiority in that midfield. I think that this was key of a better Juventus in second half. Much higher Juventus as well, with the new players a la Koopmeiners, but also Douglas Luiz, etc, etc. Better Juve, not enough. Also, you see it, less predictable, 33% or 34% on the left side in second half, 41 on the right side, and 25 in the center of the field. So Juventus that was playing in different position of the field, so a better Juve. Then, of course, you see that the possession, at the end, we are losing it because Roma in second half, they understood that Juventus wanted to do much better, and they were doing much better. Look at the pass accuracy of second half. When we solved the problem, I told you, 60-ish in first half, in final third, 81% in second half in the final third, which is a huge, big progression. Much better, because Thiago understood it. Then, of course, Douglas Luiz. Why not from the start? This is a huge, big question mark. Yesterday, a lot of people told me because Thuram is not there, because Thuram is a bit the shield of Douglas Luiz. Beautiful quality for him. And the only thing that I want to ask him if I see him is, do you understand the necessity, the urgency on the game. Because when I see him entering, that we are playing against Nuremberg in a friendly, that we are playing with a 3-0 lead against Como, or that we are doing a 0-0 against Roma yesterday, it's always the same. He plays tranquilo, relaxed, chill, we have time, I do my dribble, I don't lose the ball. But then, of course, you see the positive sides that are the fact that he's from a total different, much higher technical level as the other players. Fantastic Douglas Luiz. I can't wait to see him really starting against Empoli or the game after in Champions League when we will make our debut on the 17th of September. Momentum of the game, I told you, that's where we missed actually the goal. These last 25, let's say, between the 60th and 85th, because then the last 5 minutes it was Roma that went in crescendo, even nearly to the goal with a shot from the distance from Angelino. Well, in these minutes, I think we needed to do a bit better. We had the opportunity to kill them because they were just waiting for us. Of course, when you are entering Conceição, when you are entering Douglas Luiz, you're probably losing a bit of centimeters, and that's what we saw also yesterday, because if in the first half we were winning the aerial duels with 57%, in the second half we only won 12.5% of our duels. Pay attention, that's also something that we need to keep in mind, and that's why a Thuram, for example, in that midfield would have been so important next to a Douglas Luiz. That's one of the things. Yesterday I was surprised but also disappointed. No shots from outside of the box, just one, and it was the free kick of Dusan Vlahovic. Other than that, 0 shots from outside of the box. I'm expecting that our midfielders are taking their chance as well, like, for example, Locatelli against Verona, that first shot that was just beautiful. Yesterday we didn't see it, while Roma, when they had opportunity, they tried 4 times from outside of the box. Individualities, that's the last part of the videos. MVP, Gatti, beautiful performance defensively. Okay, on the ball, a bit less in terms of build-up, but on the other side, we have to admit that we didn't see the Gatti frenetic or the crazy Gatti of the past. Much more mature, much more captain, and we also saw a fantastic, beautiful picture after the game where he goes to Yildiz, where he goes to Cambiaso to say, oh, get up. Get up, it's not over. It's not over, we have to continue, we have to grow, but get up from that field as a real Capitano. Beautiful, extremely beautiful image, touching image. Also, maturity, I loved it. Conceição, second best of man of the match. You know what I missed yesterday? That we didn't try to persist and looking for him. We didn't give him enough balls. When you see that he's the real threat, the only real guy that is able to make Roma go totally crazy, then you continue. You continue to look for him until Roma is going totally on his side and you have free space for Yildiz on the left. And yesterday, not enough. We tried. That's a real big pity. Maybe because Thiago Motta said, guys, don't forget to play on both sides. But when you see a man that is making the difference like that, it's a pity, but he will create a lot of enthusiasm. He will share a lot of joy with Juventini. Yesterday, he entered 3 dribbles, 3 successful dribbles on 3. So he tried 3, he succeeded 3. Total duels 9, he won 7. So don't pay attention to the fact that he's shorter than all the other ones on the field. 9 duels, 7 won. Not bad, huh? Not bad at all. Andrea Cambiaso yesterday, good and bad. I want to praise his tactical versatility and also the fact that tactically he unlocked that second half, but yesterday he missed a lot in accuracy, and also yesterday he lost 15 balls. That's 6 balls more than Kenan Yildiz, that is a striker. I like the performance again, tactically. On the other side, he needs to improve. Who else did I appreciate yesterday? Teun Koopmeiners. Of course, it's a player that is just arriving. He doesn't know what Motta is asking. He doesn't know the affinity with his teammate. He probably had no 45 minutes in the legs, but yesterday we saw it. And he enters in the second half. He's immediately the king of the passes in final third. 15 passes in final third. He will be a huge, big threat. Teun Koopmeiners, we are expecting more, of course, but for first 45 minutes with 3 weeks where he stood at home, I think that he will make really the difference. Then, who I didn't appreciate, Vlahovic and Fagioli. Fagioli, he needs to step up. If he doesn't do it now, he will probably go back and back in the hierarchy. Vlahovic, now it's time for him to step up. 2 games where I praised Dusan Vlahovic, Verona, even if he didn't score. No, Como, Verona did really, really well. Yesterday, a bad performance. Runs that were bad, decision making that were bad, shot accuracy that were bad, first touch control that was really bad, and then again this behavior. It's a guy that goes extremely fast with enthusiasm and celebrations, and that goes really fast in depression, in and this is not okay, and this is not okay. No, Dusan, we forgave you last year. The season before was injury. Now it's time to step up. There are no injury. There is no the same coach. You are there as the real number 9 of Juve. Now you need to step up with consistency. This is what we are asking for you. Consistency in the game, but also consistently with the games. Yesterday, I was expecting also a bit more from Kenan Yildiz. In that number 10, it was difficult because of Roma in that first half, and he didn't find his position in that number 10. And when he was on the left, probably a bit too isolated. So I'm expecting also a step up from Kenan Yildiz in the future. This was it for me for that long video of tactical analysis of day after, with papers, with own opinion, with tactical, just to actually tell you that what I'm sharing with you is also supported by numbers. I hope you enjoyed it. So put a maximum of like. If we need to improve that format, let me know. I'm really curious to read you. Grazie, forza, Juve.